Hello, everyone. I just wanted to jump on here and say a happy Yule, which it is today and maybe yesterday. So there are like 12 days of Yule apparently, and this is a great time to reflect and slow down and just, aligning with the energies of the weather and, well, if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. So I also just wanted to talk about the books that I'm going to be reading. I finished the semester yesterday. It's Saturday today. So my Latin professor let me turn in my workbook. I went up to campus to scan it and upload it, and I had finished my second university class grades like the day before. So it is officially winter break. I have 3 weeks off, which, like, on one hand, I know to some of you probably sounds insane. To me, it puts me in a panic because I don't have that much time, I feel like. Classes don't start, it's the 21st right now, and the classes don't start until the 21st of January. But we have to, as instructors, go back to campus the week before for meetings, and also the week before the semester is when I do like my syllabi revisions or create the syllabus for a new class. The only new class that I'm teaching next semester after winter break is philosophy of religion. So I'm super excited. I'll probably start prepping for it during winter break, but today is just kind of a slow transition to winter break. I don't think I really read all that much today. I don't know what I've done actually. It's almost 2 p.m. And yeah, so I trying to write in my dream journal. I started it this summer, but apparently I realized that I haven't written down all my dreams. I don't know, like that it seems really weird to me, like where did I write them down? Because maybe like I did in another journal. I'm not sure. But anyway, so some of these books will be the same as the books in the last TBR video, but I did finish some of the books, so you won't see all of them here. And these are just the books that I'm actually like currently reading or very seriously going to start probably today. I don't have Crime and Punishment in here, or Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, or Albert Camus' The Plague. Just because I don't know, like sometimes you just really feel compelled to read certain books, and you know you would really enjoy other books if you added them in and you really like committed to them and started. But this is a realistic stack of what I actually might get through. Okay, so continuing to show up is Carl Jung's The Undiscovered Self. I think that I just haven't had any time to dedicate myself to it. I have this Robert Johnson's book called Owning Your Shadow, which I found. Oh, well, I should like talk about some of these, I guess. So with the Undiscovered Self, what I'm reading right now. I'm reading the second half, which is Symbols and the Interpretations of Dreams, and I've only read 2 chapters in it. Next I'm on the Language of Dreams. The chapters are pretty short, yeah, I don't know if that inspires you sometimes. But I think that even though I had heard of shadow work, I didn't really understand it. I mean, I understood, what Carl Jung has said, in what I have read of Carl Jung about, if you don't attend to your shadow, you're going to project it out on other people. And like in terms of like the collective will be projecting it like on an enemy, and wars will start, and like chaos and destruction. This book has really helped me understand, though, like how to attend to the shadow. And basically, Robert Johnson, who is a Jungian analyst, I think, is he actually an analyst? I don't know. He has read a lot of Carl Jung, I think. Yeah, I don't know. But he seems like a great guy, actually. Um, he has said that it's really a balancing thing. Like I guess that I kind of assumed that, oh, the shadow is repressed and kind of a regressive part of yourself that you need to develop and mature and yes, integrate. But I still had the thought in my head that we eventually, like, it's no longer going to be there. That's not what I understood from Robert Johnson. What I'm understanding from him is that your shadow is just what we call the opposing pole of our current one-sided personas. So, for instance, that we always have to balance. So, if I am, let's say, just like a rigidly clean person and like in control of all of that, if I'm just that and that's how I see myself and I love it, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do something messy to balance it. Or else, everything that Jung says, like neuroses and pathologies and things will just like come up if you're not in a reactive way, if you are not dealing with it. So, so a solution to this, like something messy that was also like productive and artistic, might be like finger painting, like getting your hands all dirty and paint all over your shirt and just having such a fun thing with it. Or like maybe getting messy in the garden or, something like that. So he really suggests that whatever the other pole is, that we don't always have to like air our dirty laundry in a sense and like try to like push that out on our relationships or other people or in the public. Like we can channel it into something that's very intentional. And so I really like that. One example he gives, just to give another example, is that he says that he, is writing somewhat academically. That's just who he is. And so for him, something he could do, because it's kind of one-sided, to be so intellectual and polished and presentable and write like something that's like kind of serious, he would try to write some like fan fiction or something like that, like just something like that's really lowbrow that he doesn't want anyone to see, that's embarrassing, etc. So he can like channel that energy out and it can balance. So I hope that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to me. So a part of shadow work that I'm seeing with that is I need to like reflect on like the list of um, traits or activities or behaviors that are particularly one-sided, and think about like, well, what would balance that out on a like opposite pole or opposing pole. I'm still reading Dream Work. He has gone through like a dream interpretation from one of his own dreams. And now I'm in the last section, I think it is. Maybe, no, I don't know. Approaching active imagination. So in this book, he really talks about how important it is to signal to our unconscious and our minds, our brains, our subconscious, that we have understood the message of the dream. And so basically we need to create like a symbolic ritual that will show ourselves, our psyches, that we are taking it seriously and we are honoring the dream. And it doesn't always have to like specifically relate, but for instance, he had a dream where he was walking through his childhood neighborhood and he saw a Japanese grocer's. He walked to this abandoned lot, this vacant lot, and he encountered like four, I think, hoodlums, who that's what he called them, um, who came up and was like, I guess they were like threatening and maybe going to rob him. And so his dream self took money from like the hip pocket to I guess like his shirt pocket over the heart, and then the four, however many people, I think four people, they like became friendly, etc. So you don't have to do what he did, which is, might be seem kind of extreme. He like actually went back to his to that street that he was walking on, and he visited where the grocers, I think, used to be, and he found himself in the lot, and he actually encountered somebody who was like trying to like see what he wanted because I guess he was like a seller of something. And he was sort of panicked, and I think he like ended up leaving like in a panic, but nevertheless, like because he was intentionally like thinking about his dream and reflecting on it, and he tried to like go back to the site where it was, uh then he says that like after that happens, there will be like alignment and synchronicities, and maybe your dreams won't be so repetitive. So we would, I thought, and maybe still am a bit confused on the idea that, if our dreams are giving us kind of instructions and trying to make certain things that are unconscious conscious and showing us like what we need to change about ourselves and our lives, I would think that you would have to always kind of like work to change that about yourself. And it's kind of a lifelong, like, how long does it take to change like a personality trait or a pattern, etc. So, I don't know. I think that that probably is true. Like your dreams are going to show you something big. Um, so how would a symbolic ritual like solve the problem for you in your real life or your psychic life? Um, and that's part of the mystical aspect of this. I have found through the kind of energetic therapy that I'm currently involved with, about once a month, because that's what I can afford, um, that we don't always have to be conscious of like traumatic memories of our past or specific woundings. We just need to like speak to our conscious, to yeah, to our like, well, they call it a super conscious, and to fix and treat and address these things and maybe like reprogram. And so, and I think that, Jung does talk about that. There's like a certain psychosomatic, illness that someone has. And once they realize a dream's interpretation, or they confess something, or they articulate something, then it goes away. So it's like between a neuroses and or a neurosis and some kind of like psychic block that's happening, there is a direct connection, but then there is almost as well an indirect connection. Like you solve it in a way that you wouldn't normally think you could solve something that was maybe like physical. So I don't know. I don't know if I completely understand it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the things that shadow work means and all the ways you can understand your dreams and all the ways you can address them. But I am just so grateful for these Robert Johnson books. And I have a few others. I'm probably going to just buy everything that he's written. So this book is coming up again as well, a critical dictionary of Jungian analysis. I'm loving this still, but I've been so busy. I've been like pushing myself, and it's been kind of an overwhelming semester. I think like I've said this many times that I mean, as an academic, whether you are like a student or whether you're an instructor, really like 12 to 15 hours is really what you're supposed to do in a semester, right? Like you all know this, like if a lot of you are in college right now or have been to college. So I basically did 30 hours. So I did like twice as much. So I'm including my Latin. So I'm including like my academic stuff as a student and as an instructor. Um, because I taught 6 classes, 4 classes at the state college and 2 classes at the university. Then I took a class. Then I got like a 9-hour release for chair work, which is, also work. It's not like you just get off, work for whatever. So yeah, and then also as beautiful as my angelic intro to philosophy class was, I mean, my students at the university were also angelic, but in my in-person class, I just had some challenging students who really, I guess, yeah, challenged me in various ways. I think that they're in every sort of relational conflict or challenge, there is like a gift, and I was trying my best to figure that out and see that. And I hope that I dealt with it well, but it was hard. And yeah, and one good thing about ending this semester is that if you do have sort of dynamics that are very difficult, they will end. And then you have like a whole new group of students or classmates or another instructor if you are, full-time college student, and you have another chance, right? And also another chance to like do things differently, as a student or as you're teaching, etc. So I am both grateful for the experiences I had and grateful that they're over. Like they are over. And I don't think I'll be teaching on campus at the university again. Um, Mostly because I can't. I was told from the place where I'm full time that I can only teach online in another place, which is fine. Um, but I need a break anyway. Not that like I would have like the same experience, but it was just so difficult. Sometimes you just like need some space, even if it doesn't make sense. So I'm looking forward to, maybe I shouldn't say that, you know, um, a different, perhaps, semester. So I'm almost finished with this angel book. I just have like some letters, I guess. Like there are messages, and then there are a few letters at the end, and then there's like a glossary. So, which I apparently had started already sometime in the past. And then let's see, I do want to pick up the Red Book. So excited for this. And I just feel like it's time to read it. And then I have the Zohar, the second volume. Again, just still, I know I had it on my TBR Thanksgiving list, but I don't think I picked it up very much. And then the Gene Keys, which I can say more about because I've read the, what is it called? Like the activation. There are various sequences. There's supposed to be 4 sequences. And sorry, I have read 2. So the first one, the activation, and the second one, which is the Venus sequence about love. And then I have the third one, but I'm going to wait. So hold on, sorry. Sorry, my nose was just really, really itchy. So yeah, so I'm waiting on I think it's called the Pearl Sequence Prosperity. I'm waiting on that just because I want to get through more of the gene keys, but I can't explain it. So basically, when you put in your date of birth and location, etc., just like you would do with an astrological birth chart, it gives you um, like 33, I guess, like words, a list of words that should speak to you. So this includes 11 shadows, 11 gifts, which are like bridges from the shadow, uh, and 11 siddhis. So it's Siddhi, and then S for plural. So a bridge to those. And so I don't know. So just like I don't know if everyone, would say, oh, these are so mine, but I mean, we have all 64 keys in our DNA. But these 11, basically these 11 like spheres, like the shadow, the gift, and the siddhi is a sphere, just really are supposed to be like our karmic kind of task, I guess, or our set of tasks and lessons for this current incarnation. So the cool thing about this that I have noticed, and it also means that I can't read it for a sustained amount of time in any one setting, is that when you read this, it's almost like, and it says that it will do this as well, it's almost like it's awakening something within you and activating something. And he really says that this is something that this is a spiritual path that you can choose. And so, therefore, it is like a lifelong path. But he says that um, there is a period of 7 years where you should be very intentional and kind of he doesn't really say intense, but that's going to be my word. Um, Focused, I'll say that, focused study and contemplation on these. So I think that's exciting. I like kind of when someone sets, something up for me like that. Just because it's kind of fun to say, okay, well, it's going to be 7 years and I'm going to start journaling and like count the time now and see, what happens. He really says that one of the interesting things is that he says is that we sort of go through, you can divide up your life into 7-year cycles. And so the first 21 years, we are incarnating into our like bodies. And our body has not just one body, but we have like an emotional body, a mental body, our physical body, of course. And these have like different layers and dimensions, etc. And we're like our sort of karmic tasks and lessons are actually imprinted upon us while we are in the womb. So even prior to what we would count as like childhood conditioning. But then they sort of like manifest and maybe get like locked in or adjusted or something like that. I really know, during the first 21 years of our life. So it's like from 0 to 7 is, I forget, like maybe the physical, like what is it? What are the three? One is emotional, one is mental. I don't know. And so I forget about that part. But I think that that's really interesting. Just thinking about how important it is to, well, have good parenting, but also to be a good mentor when you encounter a child. If only parents would, be interested in their spiritual journeys and, um, understand. human development. I don't think that many, maybe now that's changing because just we have the internet and there's like so much more accessible knowledge about that. But I think, for much of human history, people just had kids. And so, and then they just, try to, sustain their life and maybe not think so much about, you know, the impact of their own lives upon these little human beings. But of course, then there are some people who say that we like choose our parents very specifically for the type of conditioning that they will give us, because this is the Irish dream interpreter person, Michael Sheridan, what he says in his kind of like cosmological theory. But he says that we like our issues that we have, our soul issues, our spiritual issues that we have in this spiritual realm. And so we want to incarnate on earth and go through a particular type of conditioning that will create the same kind of issues, but on the material realm. And so that we can work on them, because working on them, I don't know, in the material realm is maybe easier or like easier. Like, I don't know. So, I mean, no one knows, right? Like, no one really knows anything. But it's an interesting theory. I don't know if it's a super healthy narrative for like everyone. But I think with all kinds of like religions and spiritualities and theories, etc., you just kind of tell yourself what helps you and what resonates with you, right? And it's not, I mean, I'm like sharing with you, but it's not to tell, and that's why I guess, please see this as a disclaimer. Um, I don't think that that works for everyone, and I don't necessarily think it's healthy, and it's not something that I think we should uh, tell people in order to try to help them see things differently. I'm just sharing that that is that those ideas are out there. And what do I think of them? I mean, I personally think that works for me. But everyone's childhood trauma is different and on a continuum of intensity, from not really noticeable to like pretty horrific. So I feel like I'm kind of like in the middle of that continuum, wherever it is. So yeah, so that's basically it. I don't know if I said the Zohar. Oh, I think I did. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed. So again, there's not like, I don't know, I guess I'm just mostly addicted to my psychic journey right now, my spiritual journey. And I'm just gonna go with it. I mean, part of me feels like, well, maybe a little guilty, like I don't know why, but maybe like, is this what I should be reading? Like maybe I should be reading like some, really dense, hard philosophy. I'm just focused on, I don't know, I guess you could even like look at this as like self-help books, etc. But I can't not do it. I cannot do it. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so I hope that if you are on winter break, you have a lovely time and treat yourself with self-compassion. You deserve this break to rest, to be with friends, family, and hopefully out in the sun, if there's sun where you are. And yeah, just rest up for the next semester if you have another one coming. And if you are not on winter break or not on a vacation, I'm very sorry. But I hope that you still carve out a bit of time for yourself during the weekends or in the evenings or whenever you have free time to also pursue whatever books that you want and not feel guilty about it. Okay, thanks everyone. I will catch you later. And I'll probably do other videos. So who knows, but I'll just say it at the end of every video. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. Um, Protect yourself from the drones. I don't know. Okay, bye.